Hi everyone, welcome to Think Smart Home. Today we are going to add a Zigbee dongle to Home Assistant. We will be installing ZigBee2MQTT and Mosquito Brooker add-ons on our Home Assistant, and we will be using ZigBee2MQTT to add Zigbee devices into our network. Alternative to ZigBee2MQTT is Home Assistant's native ZHA, which is Zigbee Home Automation. I'll prefer Zigbee to MQTT over ZHA purely because it supports more number of devices as compared to ZHA. Also, when adding a Zigbee device using Zigbee to MQTT, generally it exposes more entities than ZHA. For this tutorial, I will be using SONOFF Zigbee USB dongle plus E. I have been using this on my production home assistant installation both as coordinator and routers. I'll leave the affiliate purchase link down in the description below if you want to purchase it. So now the question is, what is coordinator and what is a router? Routers are responsible for routing traffic between different nodes or devices. They are the gatekeepers to the network. They are responsible for allowing new nodes or devices to join the network. Network can have multiple routers which will help expand the network range. Coordinator is a special router. It is the core part of the Zigbee network. Without a coordinator, network cannot be formed or function. There can only be one coordinator in each Zigbee network. It controls the whole network setup, for example, addition of new devices and routers to the networks. Also, the path adopted by devices to communicate to each other. Now that we know about coordinators and routers, please be advised most of the Zigbee USB dongles, they are flashed with coordinator firmware out of the box. If you need to use them as routers, you'll have to flash them with router firmware. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to create a video on how to flash a SONOFF Zigbee USB dongle with a router firmware. Alright, we have discussed enough about the Zigbee network and its components. Let's start with the tutorial. Before we starting the add-on installation, we need to create a dedicated MQTT user account. We can do so by going to Settings, People, Users, and then Add User. Fill up the form to create a new user. Since this new user is purely for dedicated to MQTT, so I recommend giving it a meaningful name. I will recommend to tick can only log in from local network since this is MQTT user and it does not need a remote access. Click Create. Now we need to install MQTT Broker. Go to Settings, Add-ons, Add-on Store and search for Mosquito Brooker add-on and install it from there. It might take a couple of minutes to get this installed. Once the add-on is installed, just tick the watchdog toggle. Start the add-on. Now we need to configure MQTT integration. So go to Settings, Devices and Services. Here you should see an integration called MQTT. If you can't see it, simply add it by going to Add Integration and search for MQTT and add it from there. Once added, click Configure. We have to update default MQTT username, so click on Reconfigure MQTT. Under username and password, enter the username and password which we just created. Click Next. No changes required on this page, so click Submit. Under the integration, you can see no devices are added. The first device which we will add will be the router. Now we need to install Zigbee to MQTT. Since this is not an official add-on, so we have to add a repository. Go back to Settings, Add-ons, Add-on Store, click on three dots on the top right corner, and then click Repositories. Fill it in with the repo link I have left down in the description below. Click Add. Now the repository is added, so you can now click on Close to close this window. You should now see three new add-ons. If you can see these three add-ons, just refresh your page and they should appear. Now click on ZigBee2MQTT and install it. Addon might take few minutes to install. Once the installation is complete, tick the watchdog and show in the sidebar toggles. We have to do some configurations before we can start the add-on. But before we do that, make sure you have connected the Zigbee USB dongle to your Home Assistant hardware. In my case, since I'll be using it on Synology NAS through Virtual Machine Manager as a pass-through USB, I'll make sure I have added it under Virtual Machine Manager. Once this is done, you should see a new device on Home Assistant. Now we need to tell our ZigBee2MQTT add-ons where to find this USB stick. So go to Settings, Systems, Hardware, All Hardware. Here you can search for USB dongle. Since I am using SONOFF, so I'll search for SONOFF. Select the USB dongle, and in this window the main info I'm looking for is the device path. Copy the device path and go back to Home Assistant and paste it in configuration for ZigBee2MQTT under the section called Serial. Type in port, and paste the device path you just copied. Since I am using SONOFF's USB dongle, so I'll add adapter details too. I'll leave the configuration down in the description below. Click on Start Add-on to start it. Go to Log tab and hit refresh. You should not see any red lines in there. Add-on might take some time to start. While this is happening, please take some time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon to get notified when I release a new video regarding home automations. Alright, the add-on is started. Let's quickly look at the MQTT integrations. Again, go to Settings, Devices and Services, and under MQTT integration, you should be able to see one device added. Click on the device. So this is a Zigbee router as I mentioned previously. Alright, now the fun part. Let's add a new device into our Zigbee network. Click on ZigBee2MQTT on the sidebar. It will open up the dashboard where you can see all your devices and configure them accordingly. Since we haven't added anything yet, so this page is empty. If you click on drop down arrow button, you should see options All and Coordinator. When you will grow your network, you'll have more routers, so that means you'll have more paths in your network. And that drop down arrow will allow you to select a specific path. This simply means more routers you have, more options you'll have under this drop down button. For now, let's select Permit Join All. Okay, now we are in pairing mode. For this tutorial, I'll pair a Kara motion sensor with this router. As per instructions from Akara, I'll click pairing button on this sensor for 5 seconds and it should start the interview process. Alright, you can see now the joining process has started. Give it some time to complete. Once the device is added, you can edit it and rename the entities. This device now should be shown an MQTT integration, where you can see all the entities it is exposing. Alright, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.